Former governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, has been in the news lately, and not for the pending appeal at the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal. Some citizens of the state he governed for 8 years want him investigated by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. They accuse him of diverting 13% derivation funds due to oil-bearing communities in the 8 years he served as governor. Now, to help us make sense of these allegations, we have joining us Olisa Ifejika, a former spokesman for Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. Thank you very much for giving us your time. Your principal, the former governor, is being accused of diverting monies meant for the development of oil-bearing communities. Being one who worked closely with him, tell us what you know about the spending of the 13% derivation funds in Delta State.
Thank you very much for having me. First, let me say that I'm not a former spokesman for Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, former governor. I am still a spokesman.
Okay.
30% derivation fund, before this SOPADEC was created, that engendered the laws about 30% derivation, the state as Delta was receiving 30% derivation from the federation account for the state. And in the wisdom of then Governor James Ibori, he established the SOPADEC, the Delta State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, for the oil producing areas, that the money, the funds that were accrued for 13% derivation, 50% of it will be given to the SOPADEC as an intervention agency to cater for the oil producing communities. The remaining 50% will be part of money that the state government will use to continue to administer the entire Delta State, even with the same areas that are oil producing. That is the way it is done. And if between 2015 and 2023, that former governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, left office, and it is believed that 1 trillion naira accrued to the state government from 30% derivation, except somebody is thinking that that money ought to have been kept in a bank, that after 8 years, it will be brought up for it to be shared. The one would have thought that because government is about development, you cater for the welfare of the people, and of course, the protection of lives and property. And Governor Ifeanyi Okowa is on record that before now, he has been the only governor who dared to go to the coastal areas to develop those areas. Those areas were considered that time as very hard to reach. And governor felt that this area where the resources really comes from should be developed, because the fear initially was that the amount of money you will spend in developing 1 kilometer of road in the coastal area will give you about 20 kilometers of road in the upland. But Okowa said no, that these people are deltans, and the resources we're talking about come from there.
Okay, what you're saying sounds fair enough, but then again, your counterpart, the former commissioner for information, Charles Sanyago, is reported to have said that those who wrote the petition and are calling for the investigation are sponsored by politicians who lost last governorship election in the state. Critics are saying that this kind of response is a familiar one when accusations like this come up. So my question to you is, why is it that when accusations like this come up, wouldn't it be, if there is nothing to hide, just allow the EFCC do its job?
Yes, we are. We allow the EFCC to do its job. But it's our job also to, because some of the things that are being bandied have been in the public domain for some time. We had explained over and over what the matters are. You talk about development, that is 13% derivation, the funds have come. And like I said, except somebody expected it will be brought to the table to say this amount that I accrued from 13% derivation. I am not aware, we're not aware in this state that this SOPADEC that manages the 50% of that 30% derivation fund that comes to the state, that this Opadek, as that intervention agency, has ever complained of starvation of funds. Besides, you must know that whereas the state government prepares its own budget at the beginning of every year for its own development plans, this Opadek, as a body, prepares its own budget, conscious of the fact that it's entitled to 50% of the derivation fund.
Okay,
as
so,
enshrined in the
I'm
law,
afraid I have to
establishing it.
interject in the interest of time. I'm very sure we will come back to you again in the coming days, whatever the outcome is with the investigation. Thank you for speaking with us, Mr. Olisa Ifejika.